Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. For those who haven't been here before, my name's Anna, the channel is More Life and we are going to Disney World. I come and do a little trip update because I spent the last few weeks kind of getting bits together, so all the fun stuff like choosing the tickets, choosing where we're going to go, booking the airport hotel, and actually I got some tickets that I didn't even know existed, which I'll explain in a minute. Yeah, and then doing the boring kind of pricier stuff like our Esters. What else have I been doing that costs quite a lot? Oh, travel insurance, that seems to have gone up a lot, but I suppose it's because of COVID. Yeah, transport back and forth to the airport, which is fun, and we're going on train this time, which I've never done before. We usually take the National Express. So yeah, so I thought I'd give you a little update. So for those who haven't been here before, we are going to Orlando in August. We weren't going to go and do Disney, but then, well, we just thought we can't go over there and not do Disney. I'm going with my youngest son, Tyler, who will be 21, I think, a couple of days after we get back home, and my daughter, Lila, who is 9, and it'll be her second trip to Orlando, and I think it'll be Tyler's 4th or 5th, but I'll talk a little bit more about that later as well. So we're going for 17 nights, and so we're going in August. I've never been in August before, and we're staying at Cabana Bay, which is one of the Universal hotels. I'm not going to drive over there. I'm going to use, well, obviously transport from Cabana Bay to Universal, and I think we're going to rely on Lyfts and Ubers to go back and forth to Disney. So far, I think I've got my tickets organised. I've got 2 week, because it's 14 days for the price of 7, I think, for UK guests. So we've got 2 weeks of Disney tickets. I've got 2 weeks of Universal Studios. I've also paid to go to Discovery Cove because we absolutely love it there, and Lila's going to do the dolphin swim because she was too young to do it last time, and that's given us 14 days entry into SeaWorld as well. Separate events, so I've brought tickets for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, which I'm actually really looking forward to that, and I think that's something that Lila will absolutely love. Well, we all love it. We're going to get loads of sweets, and I've heard that the parks, they really open really late that night, so that'd be nice, and maybe a chance if they're like the rides are not quite so busy to, yeah, have a few rides on things that we're, you know, because I imagine it's going to be busy there during the day. But I've heard before the rides are sometimes like walk-ons on like special events. We've also booked to do, and this is, I'm not quite so sure about this, so I'm really looking forward to it. But Lila is only 9, and she's quite a brave 9-year-old, and she likes to watch the Halloween Horror Nights at Universal on YouTube, but we've actually booked to go there for real. I think we're going to go on the, not the opening night, but the night after. So we're just going to play that by ear. Even if we just go in and have a little look around and I have to bring Lila home, that's fine, because Tyler can stay if he's brave enough and do all the, or maybe we could take turns. But I'm looking forward to that, and I've seen they've got some really lovely like snacks and Halloween sort of themed cakes and stuff, so yeah, hopefully that should be a good night. And the other tickets, so I think they're called Orlando Go, and they give you, so you can get different ones. So Orlando Go, and you pay a certain amount of money. They vary in price range, and included within the ticket you can choose like 3 different attractions, like Madame Tussauds, Ripley's Believe It or Not, Wonderworks, Titanic. There's a whole list if you go to the website. If you just type in, I think I went to Undercover Tourist, but it's like Orlando Go passes. So we've got one which will allow us to choose 5 different attractions. So I've done the Titanic exhibition before with Tyler when he was about 2. So I'd like to go back to that. Lila's adamant she does not want to go to that exhibition, but you know, I'm sure I can change her mind. Yeah, and probably Ripley's Believe It or Not because we've never been there, so it'd be nice to go and do some attractions up and down iDrive. And we've also brought tickets for Fun Spot as well because that looks really good. Looks like the sort of thing we like. It's got like dodgems and smaller roller coasters, and yeah, maybe it would just be nice to go there instead of a very busy theme park, just to, you know, do something else of our time as well. So we want to do as much as we can whilst we're there. Really, for the last couple of days I've been doing all the boring bits. So I've got my travel insurance sorted, and that was through Tesco's, and that cost about £114, so not too bad, but certainly more than when we've travelled before. They're Esters, so I've got that done, and I actually done that. We're flying with British Airways, and when I go into like the manage the booking thing, it's actually linked up there, which will take you to do the Esters and stuff. So that's all done now, so that's a relief. And I've chosen our seats on the plane today as well, and that was actually quite dear, so I could have gambled and booked it 24 hours before we flew, but I thought, I know like they'll sit Lila with me anyway, but for the sake of just being stressed or worrying where everyone's going to sit or where we're going to be, and I've just paid to choose our seats both there and back, and that was £300. But I did think, although that's expensive, it's just going to save the stress or worry about seating and where we're going to be and that, so we know where we are. I've chosen the seats, and because there's usually 4 of us that travel, we never get to sit by the window, so I've chosen a window seat, so that'd be nice that we can, yeah, see out the window whilst we fly and land, because I love that. What else have I been doing? I'm just getting to the point where I feel like it's coming around really quickly and I haven't got anything done. Yeah, so I've done our passports, I think the main things, and I've kind of printed off everything as I've gone, so I've got a big folder full of stuff, which is lovely, because I like to be able to see it all. So all our tickets and everything arrived apart from our Discovery Cove ones. So the one big change that I'm really happy about, so it makes me not feel so bad about spending £300 using our seats, is that we don't have to COVID test anymore. So before, to fly to the States, you had to have a negative COVID test. I think it was a PCR test. I hadn't actually done it before. I know my sister did last time she went, and that really worried me, because if one of us had tested positive, then what do you do? Obviously Lila can't go out there by herself. I'd feel awful if it was like Tyler was positive and we flew off without him. So yes, hopefully that will still be in place, because when we go out there we need proof of vaccination. That was quite simple. We just typed in proof of vaccination, filled out a little form online, and we've had our NHS letters. Lila didn't need proof of vaccination, I don't think, because she's only 9, but however, she's got hers, so we're well covered there. Yeah, so it's just doing all the, like, getting everything together now. We've got our transport arranged up to the hotel, so I'm going to count this as the first day of the holiday, absolutely. We're going to go and spend a night in Gatwick. And Gatwick is probably about a 5-hour drive from us, 4 or 5. And we usually got there on the National Express, but actually they were really quite dear, so shopped around a bit and it's been cheaper for us to go up on the train. So we're going to take the train up to Gatwick. I think we're flying from South Terminal, however I've put to stay at North Terminal because I know where I am from there, in the Premier Inn, and we're going to have our evening meal and breakfast included. So, and I really like the location and where it is, and I think because I stayed there before, I'm happy to go there. Haven't been on the train in years, since I was a kid, so that'd be a nice way to travel up. So this will be the first day of our holiday. And then because we're going in theory for 16-17 nights, we've only got 2 weeks of the passes, so my Disney tickets don't start until a bit later. We're staying in a Universal hotel, so thinking on our first day, because of the time difference, we're going to be up super early. So we're going to head off to a Universal Park that day, or even Volcano Bay. My sister is flying over there. She's going for 5 or 6 weeks, and she's going to London first with her 4 children, who you've probably seen on previous vlogs, like Eve and Mia. So that'd be really nice. So they're going to be over in the same hotel, and we're going to fly over and meet them there, and yeah, have some days and trips out together. I'm sure we're doing the Halloween Horror Nights and Mickey's Not So Scary all together, so I know that is going to make some wonderful memories, I think, for us all. Yeah, so really now the next things to do is to sort out clothes, shoes. It's to pack really, and think what are we going to need to take out there with us in August, because I've been watching a lot of vlogs on YouTube and it just seems mega hot. Luckily I've had some other YouTubers, people know through YouTube, give me some hints and tips. Some really good ones from The Journey Awaits. They were doing a live the other night and I sort of hopped on to say hello, and then we had a little chat about going over to August going over to Orlando in August, and they are quite used to that because their anniversary, their wedding anniversary I think is in August, so they go over there quite a lot. So really useful to think, actually take like a small towel in a rucksack because of the heavy rain. And I can remember being over in Universal, I think that was 1 October, and literally being caught in the middle of the storm and it washed my contact lenses out. So I think the hints and tips we got about like ponchos, taking a rucksack, an umbrella, something as simple as that, I wouldn't have actually thought to have packed. I don't know why, whether I thought that I'd be struck by lightning in one of their storms. And actually, is that a risk? Am I going to get struck by lightning if I take an umbrella? Because if so, I'll just get wet. I won't mind. Yeah, and like a hand towel. So I've got some really good tips. But if anyone else has got any tips about travelling to Orlando and Disney, going to Disney in August, then please comment down below, because I probably need all the help I can get. So it's just clothing really. I don't want to overpack because I don't want to be lugging heavy suitcases around, and I know where I am at Cabana Bay, and last time we just like washed our stuff, and yeah, so there's no need to take loads and loads of clothing, and just think what's going to keep us really cool, what's going to be comfortable, what's going to keep the sun off. I've brought a load of bikinis and swimming costumes for Lila, and then thought, oh, actually she probably needs like a UV protection top, so I've got a couple of those. So next on the agenda is, yeah, just start getting clothes organised and think about packing. And makeup. I'm guessing there's no point of actually wearing lots of makeup there because I'm going to sweat it off. So I've heard that tinted moisturiser, concealer is quite good, but any hints and tips about what makeup, you know, is not going to melt off my face would be really good, because I like a bit of makeup. Dining reservations. Now it's actually only about 40 something days until we go, so we're doing it a different way. Last time we had Disney dining, so it was all about having the sit down meals, the character meals, but I kind of feel we've done that, and it's not really an option for the character meals anyway at the moment, because not a lot happening, I don't think. I know there was an announcement recently they're bringing it back at Ohana's, and I think Crystal Palace, or maybe everywhere, but that's not actually until after we come back. So I don't feel like Lila's going to miss out because it's not really an option. I've only made one dining reservation. I looked today for reservations, and a couple that I wanted I couldn't get. One was the space one in Epcot, but also I'm thinking, I think it's Food and Wine Festival when we're over there, so hopefully I might rather than have a sit down meal, you know, there'll be lots of different things for us to try, so that will be fun. So I might try again anyway closer to the time, or see if they do walk-ins. I haven't got my heart set on that. The one thing that I wanted to do, because Lila really loved it last time, and it's not the fanciest of food, but it's just a really lovely like atmosphere there, so we wanted to go to Rainforest Cafe, which I managed to get reservations for, no issue at all. But we're going to the one at Animal Kingdom rather than in Disney Springs, so I've got a day, but it's like I've got a day planned at Animal Kingdom, and we're gonna go there I think about 6 weeks, so just before the park closes. So that should be a lovely day. We're gonna, as I say, gonna do it really differently, because last time we had all sit down meals, like proper dining because of the dining plan, but we're not going to do it this time because it's an added expense really. So quite looking forward to finding out like the best quick service places to go, and I think I've got an idea of the places we want to go, but let me know of your kind of favourite ones, or what you think is really good value for money. If I was making the dining reservations, then really that needs to be done. I think they open up 60 days from the holiday, and you've got to get in there quick to get them. As I said, a couple of ones that I thought I might like couldn't get anyway, but as I say, I'm not massively disappointed, because I already had it in my head that we weren't going to go and do all the sit down meals, that it's going to be a different holiday than when we went before with the dining plan. I think before with the dining plan, and Lila was so little, she was then, well, she actually turned 5 when we were over there, and she actually had her 5th birthday at the royal table, so Cinderella's castle, which was really nice and magical. But because she was so little, we planned like big chunks of the day to have sit down meals, but this time we're just kind of I think eat and snack on the go, because we want to fit it all in. We're not there for a long time. I am hoping to vlog out there. I am terrible if I'm really having a good time and there's lots of things to see, that I tend to just not pick up the camera and vlog, but yeah, I really want to, and I think that's because we spend so many time watching other people's vlogs, and you know, it will just be something for us to look back on, and hopefully, you know, show other people what it's like to do Disney and our experiences there. This will be the first time going back to Disney, going to Orlando since 2018, so 4.5 years really. We have been there before. I've been going to Disney, the first time I went to Disney I was 12, and it was when Euro Disney first opened, and we went in August for like its opening. I think it was August, so, or just after it opened, and I fell in love with Disney then really. I first went to Orlando with my sister. She had been a couple of times before, so I went as a single mum with my 2 boys, and they were 2 and 5 at the time, and we went for 2 weeks in October of 2003. We really liked it. It was quite a struggle. I don't think I was prepared so much for Disney, because I remember back then, like some of the rides are quite dark and quite scary, and it can be all a bit overwhelming. But we found what suited us there. You know, like the boys love the characters, so yeah, it's just we've kind of grown up, or they've grown up and doing different things every time we've gone there. They've grown up with Disney, and that's why I think every time I go back I get a little bit nostalgic as well. So that was their first trip. We then went back, and this was the ultimate trip ever, and I will always say this is probably one of the best times of my life. I'm not sure if the boys will say the same thing. I'm not sure how much they remember, but it was just wonderful. We went in 2004 and we went for Christmas, but we went for a full 5 weeks, and I think we pretty much done a theme park, so either Disney or Universal, every single day bar one. I'm sure it's just a day we didn't go, or we went there and came back because it was so busy. That might have been Christmas Day. So yeah, and the boys were 3 and 6 then, and it was 5 weeks. It was brilliant. I hired, back then it wasn't so expensive to hire like the strollers. We had like a double stroller and just be march around the parks. Absolutely loved it. I went there with my sister then and her eldest son. And it was just brilliant. You know, I really loved it. It was such a wonderful experience, and you know, such a long time to go on holiday. And then we had a little break, and we went back in 2010 and stayed for a couple of weeks, and that wasn't such a great holiday, mainly because we ended up in a hotel in the middle of nowhere and I didn't drive over there, and that was because it was the year when the country was just, it was like a whiteout. I surprised the boys. We took them up to Gatwick, pretended we were going to go and visit family. So we gave them like wallets with wallets in and said, you're going to Disney World. So excited, such a reaction. All went to sleep in the hotel. I woke up and thought, I can't hear any planes taking off. And when we woke up, it was so much snow and Gatwick was just grounded. Nobody was moving, like the whole country had come to a standstill. So we did then have to go and stay with family, and then managed to get a later flight out after so much organising, but we're at a different hotel. Yeah, it was brilliant, but it was just all a little bit chaotic getting out there, and that took a little bit of the shine off it. And then of course when we went to fly back, the same thing happened. So I then had to fly into Manchester and make my way across the country to get back to the car in Gatwick and drive. And I remember those boys being so tired, and I think we had been up for about 40 something hours. However, that didn't put us off. In 2018, this was one of my favourite holidays. Well, they're all good, aren't they? So 2018, basically I graduated university and I qualified as a registered nurse, so I knew I wanted to have a big celebration, you know, basically for surviving that degree. It was Lila's first time at Disney, and we went in the January because prices were really good, and I think, and although it's meant to be low crowds, it wasn't really. I think it probably will be in comparison to high crowds, but it was still busy. Yeah, so we went in the January. We booked, I think it was 11 or 12 nights, so just under 2 weeks at Cabana Bay, and about 10 or 11 nights at Old Key West at Disney. So we split the holiday, so first part obviously all Universal, second part Disney, and that was just wonderful. It was the first time we went to Discovery Cove, and for Lila, it was her 5th birthday whilst we were out there, and as I said, she had dinner at the royal table with the princesses, and we did, because we could get Disney dining back then, like so many of all the sit down restaurants and the character meals that we were wanting to do, so that was really magical. I booked to go again in 2020. I wanted to go to Animal Kingdom Lodge, so I put some money down, booked to go, and then my dad was diagnosed with a terminal illness, so I contacted Disney and said, I can't, you know, do this. We didn't know what the situation would be at that time. And in fairness, they sent a lovely email back and they refunded all the money. They didn't even quibble really, and just sent warmest wishes, which was lovely and kind really, because just didn't need that stress at the time. And then as it was, COVID hit, so we never would have done that holiday anyway. So it all seems like a little bit of a dream really, that this is actually happening. I think at one point after I cancelled our holiday in 2020, I just thought I'm never going to get there again. And as it was, we took a bit of a gamble and put a deposit down on flights when the world was just sort of reopening from COVID. And I think that's why we got such a good deal on flights and a stay at Cabana Bay. It's just the Disney tickets and other things that are quite costly, but at least we don't have to pay for tests at the airport. If you have any hints or tips or advice about going to Disney in August, or going to Universal, just going to Orlando generally in August, then please share them with me because I'd love to hear them. Also, what are your favourite quick service places throughout the Disney parks and Universal? Good places to eat down iDrive. Honestly, I just could do with all the tips. Please give me all the tips. Please let me know if me and my sister will get struck by lightning if we use umbrellas, because that's something we're both concerned about. Any advice? Any must-sees? As I say, my son will be turning 21 just after we come back, but you think, oh, there's a really fun thing to do. I mean, it's all fun, isn't it? It's Orlando. Any good dinner shows? Just any useful hints or tips you give me would be much appreciated. Thank you so much for watching. So I'm gonna have some more kind of holiday vlogs or pre-Disney vlogs coming, hopefully before we go, of packing, and mainly because I love doing them, but also because you can be like, you know, you need to pack this, Anna, you need to get this on. Hopefully lots more trip vlogs coming soon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon.